Disappearing Parts is a 2 to 4 player game that will develop your learner's understanding of the part-whole relationship, flexibility with number, and also some fluency and strategy. To play, every player begins with the cards 1 through to 10. You roll 3 dice, and then this total is your answer. So the answer is 8. I can create that answer using part-whole relationships. So I can do that by doing 10 as my whole, subtract 2 as a part, and that would leave the other part being 8. Now you can demonstrate this with something like these, where the whole is 7 this time and the parts are 5 and 2. And if we subtract 5, we've got 2 left, or if we subtract 2, we've got 5 left. So you can solve 8 by doing a whole take away a part. And so if green got their cards in first, no one else can do that same arrangement. And so let's say someone else wanted to have their turn, they might do 5 plus 3. So 5 and 3 would be the parts. And now that red's gotten that in, the others can't copy red. And so depending on who came first out of yellow or blue, they'd get priority. Now you need to think carefully. So this game is about fluency, because if you get your numbers in quicker, first in, best dressed. However, you want to be smart about the numbers that you put in there, because you don't want to leave yourself with very few options. So let's say we go 7 and 1 with blue, make it easy for ourselves. So the 2 parts there, and then yellow might do 9, take away 1. And so that 9's there and 1's there. And you might clear this so everyone can see what they're doing. After that round, you clear the cards. These cards are out of the game. So the aim of the game is to get all 10 cards to disappear. So that's why it's called Disappearing Parts. Now these are out of the game, so we'll put them over there. If you rush in, let's say we tried to do 8 take 1 or something and we got the answer wrong, you just miss that turn. So green would miss the turn and not get to put any cards down. Sometimes you'll just miss the turn by sheer fact of the numbers that you've got left. And so what I love about this game is that it's kind of self-balancing. This person, if they're a real gun mathematician, really quick, they might have only these cards left. And so their only option now is to create a number that's either equal to 8 or 10. So they're going to miss out on a few goes, and the kids that are not quite as quick will catch back up. So we'll continue going just to see how tricky this might get. I'll just dump these cards here. They won't be in order. All right, so we roll again. This time we've got a total of 6. So blue might jump in this time and put 2 and 4 as the 2 parts. That's often the easiest thing to see. So they've done their bit. Now we've got 6. We're going to go 10 and 4 for yellow. So the whole is 10 and one of the parts is 4. Green don't have many options. 9 and 3. So 9's the whole and 3's a part. And then red might do 7 and 1. So you can see how this is going to get trickier as the game progresses. You also need to think about the probability of rolling different things. So the highest number we can roll with a 3 6-sided dice is 18. It's not likely, but it might happen. And the lowest we can roll is a 3. So here we go, next roll. 4, 5 and 1, we've got a total of 10. So easy, kids will get that pretty quick because a friend's a 10. Red's whipped in a 2 and an 8. So 10. We can only do that by addition, and blue actually has run out of options there. They can't even do that because there's no friends of 10 there. Yellow might, oh no, they can't do 2 and 8 because red already has, so they might do their 7 and 3. And green gets their 6 and 4. So blue just doesn't get to put down a card this time. We'll go again. So we're getting down toward the end of the game. Oh, there's a high one. So 4, 5 and 6. 15's the total. Red might whip in their 9 and 6 super quick as the 2 parts. Now 10 and 5 might be for blue. And I think the others can't manage it. So now we're down to red. If red gets a 14, or if they get a 6, they're in with a good chance. Now, if red had only had, say, their 10 and their 9 left, because they'd somehow use their 4, they actually can't win the game from here, because you cannot possibly roll a 1 with these 3 dice, and you cannot possibly roll a 19. So they'll actually be out of the game at this point. So luckily for them, though, they've got their 4 left. We'll see what happens here. So the total is 6 and they'd get it straight away. They'd just chuck the 10 as the whole and the 4 as a part and get in before the others manage to get theirs. So yellow might do 8 take away 2 and then 7 take away 1 and then 9 take away 3. So that's how the game would end, and maybe the teams would score. So it's the lowest score that wins. So this team's, all of them would be on 2 points and the person who won would be on 0 points. You could also play this in pairs where green and yellow team up. So they've got to get rid of all 20 cards, and so do red and blue. And so that gives you some flexibility. Like if you roll a 14, then you can actually use 2 7s. So blue could use a 7 and red could use a 7. When if you're playing by yourself, that's not a possibility. You have to use an 8 and a 6 or something else. So that is called disappearing parts. Enjoy.